Welcome to Study Time, a televised home learning program produced by Rwanda Education Board.
Hello everyone, I'm John. I'm back to entertain you through mathematics. For this time, I'll be having with senior 4 students in our unit number 6 concerning quadratic equations and inequality. We are going to pass through different methods of solving a quadratic equation. I know everybody is able to solve a quadratic equation using the graphical method, quadratic formula, even by completing squares. Then, if that is known by everybody, we can find another way of solving quadratic equation using another method, of course, known as factorization method or factoring, solving by factoring. But before that, let us verify if really you remember how to solve a quadratic equation using the completion method and the quadratic formula. Then here you have an activity. Please, you have a minute to solve this quadratic equation in n. Of course, I'm going to use the quadratic formula and the completion method. Number 2, you find the two numbers whose sum is -2 and the product is -63. And then 3, you are going to form a quadratic equation whose roots are 3 and -5. Please hurry up. Are you done? Maybe you need some few seconds, but please hurry up. Hurry up. This is simple, it's a revision. This is known from senior to even senior 3. So it is supposed to be simple. Oh, nice. Hope you are done. Please follow on chalkboard. You're going to solve our equation using these different methods. And of course, you will check if the answer will be similar to those you have. Now, for number 1, the equation is 4n squared minus 4n minus 3, which is equal to 0. First of all, we are going to use the quadratic formula. And you know that the quadratic formula is like this. X is equal to minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. And you know this value b squared minus 4ac is what you call the discriminant of the quadratic equation. So when you have this discriminant, everything is there, is very simple. Of course, you have to recognize the value of a, b, and c. So for us, if you look at this equation, A is equal to 4, then B is equal to minus 4, and then C is equal to minus 3. So then the discriminant is B squared minus 4. AC means that is minus 4, squared minus 4 times 4, then times minus 3. This is 16. 16 times 3 is 48, and you get 64. Of course, the square root of discriminant, square root of 64 is 8. Then the value of x, though the value is n, so n is equal to minus b is minus 4 plus or minus square root of the discriminant, 64, divided by 2 times 4, because a is equal to 4. So this is 4 plus or minus 8 divided by 8. And you have the two values. N1 is equal to 4 plus 8 is a 12, divided by 8. Simplifying by 4, you get a 3 divided by 2. And the other value of n, n2, is 4 minus 8, that is minus 4, divided by 8. This is -half. And the set of solution, because the purpose, we have -half, and 3 divided by 2. That is the solution of our equation using the quadratic formula. I hope it's clear, right? All right, now, the other method of completing the squares, we have 4n squared minus 4n minus 3 equals 0. Of course, as n is different, the coefficient, the leading coefficient, means the coefficient of n squared, is different from 1. We have to divide our equation by 4. Means that I'll be having n squared minus n minus 3 divided by 4, which is equal to 0. Moving this to the right-hand side, I get n squared minus n, which is equal to 3 divided by 4. I need b divided by 2, so that the number to be added to the left and the right-hand side is b divided by 2 squared. So from here, b is equal to -1, the coefficient of n. So it means that b divided by 2 is -half, and then b divided by 2 squared is -half squared, which is equal to a quarter. So, solving my equation, I'll be having n plus b divided by 2, it means minus a half squared, which is equal to 4, 3 divided by 4, then plus 1 divided by 4. This is n minus a half squared, which is equal to 1, means that n minus a half is equal to plus or minus 1, and n is equal to a half plus or minus 1. And then n1 is equal to a half plus 1, that is 3 divided by 2, and n2 is equal to a half minus 1, which is equal to -half. So the set of solution still is -half, and the 3 divided by 2. So both methods lead to the same answer, isn't it? Oh, very nice. Thank you. Now, we have another question. Find two numbers whose sum is -2, and the product is -63. Remember that when you have the sum and the product of two numbers, you have to solve equation of this form, x squared minus s of x, then plus p equals 0, where s stands for the sum and p stands for the product. And they are given, means that you have to solve the equation x squared minus 2x plus minus 63 equals 0. The equation is x squared plus 2x minus 63, which is equal to 0. Already, it's a quadratic equation is to solve. Finding the discriminant for this equation, I'll be having, let me use the reduced discriminant, that is b dash squared minus ac. Of course, because this is even, b dash is equal to the half of 2 is 1. So it means that the reduced discriminant is equal to 1 squared minus ac, 1 times minus 63, and I get a 64. Then x is equal to minus b dash plus or minus root of the reduced discriminant divided by a. Remember the formula we saw last time. So this is minus 1 plus negative. So out of 64 is 8. Divided by a is equal to 1. So x is equal to minus 1 minus 8, it is minus 9. Or x is equal to minus 1 plus 8, and you get 7. If we take minus 9 plus 7, you will get minus 2, and the product is minus 63. And the numbers are are 7 and minus 9. The last, you are given the root of a quadratic equation, but you have to form, does the quadratic equation having the root? When you have the root, to form a quadratic equation is very simple. You just take x minus x1 times x minus x2 equals 0. Of course, x1, x2 are the roots. Are we together? Okay. So the root are given means that I have x minus 3 times x. The other root is minus 5 minus, then minus 5 equals 0 means that I have x minus 3 times x plus 5 equals 0. Expanding this, I'll get x squared plus 5x minus 35 is 2x minus 15. And I'm done. This is the required quadratic equation obtained when you have the root. I hope it is very simple and very clear. Compare your answers with those you have on chalkboard. I think if it was a quiz or a test, you shall get the maximum, 10 out of 10. You have a minute to write something. Then after, we continue with the new method, of solving quadratic equation by factoring, means the factorization method. Solving quadratic equation by factoring. By factoring, you understand there's factors. Means that you have your quadratic equation. Of course, A, B, C are real numbers, and A is different from 0 to get a quadratic equation. Means that you need to change this quadratic equation into factors. So to solve this equation using the method, we have to use the zero product property. How is it? Means that if you have two numbers, A times B equals 0, I insist the right-hand side is equal to 0. If it is not 0, I can't talk about the zero product property. But as it is 0 at the right-hand side, that is the zero product property. So this is equal to 0 if one of these factors is equal to 0. Means that A equals 0 or B equals 0. Remember this or with logic, it means either A is equal to 0, either B is equal to 0, or both are 0. Means that these are different factors. For instance, if you have A plus, no, let us x plus 1 times x minus 2 equals 0. This can stand for A, and this is B. These are factors. If you want to solve, means that x plus 1 equals 0, or x minus 2 equals 0, then x equals 2 minus 1, and x equals 2. Do you see? Of course, you have given the set of solution, isn't it? So that is the property you have. Then, if you want to solve this equation by factoring, this is possible if there exists two numbers, m and n, such that the product m(n) is equal to A times C. Again, the sum m plus n, this must be equal to B, the coefficient of x. This must be equal to m plus n, this should be equal to B. If this condition is met, you can apply the method. In the case you can't find the m and n, it means the method failed. Okay? We are going to continue with the method, how that method works. First of all, we need to know whether this equation can be written into two factors. After getting two numbers, m and n, responding to these conditions, A, C is the product, and the sum is B, we can find the two numbers whose product is given and the sum is given. Then after, we sprint the middle term, means the term in the x, this one, and we group pairs. Then after, we find the common factor, and we solve. We're using the zero product property, and we get the value of x, and finally, we give the set of solution, isn't it? Let us have an example, but first of all, you are given 1 minute or a few seconds to write something. At the same time, I'm going to prepare my chalkboard. Please don't waste your time. Write something in your record book for reference. So we are back with our method, of course, through an example. Solve 6b x squared plus 13x plus 6 equals 0. Of course, by factoring. This is an example. Okay? Follow. From this equation, 6x squared plus 13x plus 6 equals 0, A is equal to 6, B equals 13, and C is equal to 6. So we need AC, means that is 6 times 6, which is equal to 36. And of course, this is the product, and the sum is B, 13. Means that we need to find the two numbers whose product is 36 and the sum is 13. I hope it is very simple to get those numbers, isn't it? The pair of numbers can take 4 and 9, because 4 times 9 is 36 and the sum is 13. Already, as I can get these two numbers, let's say M equals 4 and N is equal to 9, the numbers are there, means that we can apply the method for solving this equation. Isn't it? All right. Now, as it is factorable, means that I can have 6x squared. I'm going to split the middle term, means that 13x is equal to 4x plus 9x, then plus 6, which is equal to 0. And then I'm going to group. So to get 6x squared plus 4x, yes, then plus 9x plus 6 equals 0. So from here, I'm going to find a common factor. So this can be written like, if I take 2x in a factor, I remain with the 3, x plus 2, then plus, I can take a 3, I remain with 3x plus 2. Do you see already I have a common factor? Then I have 2x plus 3 times 3x plus 2 equals 0. This is the zero product property. Then solve each factor. I have a 2x plus 3 equals 0, or 3x plus 2 equals 0. And solving for x, I'll be having minus 3 divided by 2. And here x is minus 2 divided by 3. And of course, the set of solution, don't forget, this is minus 3 divided by 2 and minus 2 divided by 3. And we are done with this method. But also, all these steps can be summarized in one. After getting the product was 36, and the sum was 13. Two numbers, we have a 4 and a 9. What you do, you take all these numbers, you divide by the coefficient of x squared, of the variable. So it means that I'm going to divide it by 6, and then I divide by 6, and by 2, I get 2 divided by 3, and here I get by 3, 3 divided by 2. And you need the factors equals 0. What you do, this denominator is the coefficient of the variable. Means that you have 3x, then you add the numerator plus 2. And here you have 2x, then plus 3. And you are here. Solving for x, the set of solution is still minus 3 divided by 2 and minus 2 divided by 3, which is the same. So this can summarize all these steps. As it is known from senior 3, I hope everything is clear and simple. You may need other examples or activity, but I'm going to take just one. Another example. This is the last. I take m squared plus 6m, then minus 27 equals 0. Still, as we did before, here a is equal to 1, b is 6, and then c is minus 27. So it means that the product a c is 1 times this, you get minus 27. And of course, this is the product, and the sum is 6. So you need the two numbers whose product is minus 27, and the sum is 6. Can you guess those numbers? I hope the numbers can take 9 and minus 3. The sum is minus 27, and the product is, the product is minus 27, and the sum is 6. Means that I'd be having this is minus 27, and the 6, 9, minus 3, divided by 1, and 1 means that I have 1m plus 9, 1m minus 3 equals 0. Then solving, you get m, which is equal to minus 9, and m is equal to 3. And the set of solution is minus 9 and 3. I'm done. So it is simple. Let me leave you with that homework. As different methods are known, I didn't recommend you the method to be used. You choose any method you want, either quadratic formula, either completing the squares, or by factorization, or by factoring. Thank you very much for your participation and your attention. I hope to meet you next time. Stay enjoying mathematics.